$3,700 in past due rent through February.
I just feel like I've been being harassed through this process. I know for sure he's lying under oath. Should I just say that?
You can ask him questions.
In today's case, a landlord is suing for unpaid rent, but the tenant has a unique legal argument for why she shouldn't have to pay at all. She's confident in her defense, but the judge might have other plans. This one takes a turn.
And still no resolution?
Yeah, this is where I think we are. At the last hearing, we discussed some numbers in terms of the past due rent. $3,700 in past due rent through February. There were $214.30 in process server filing fees and the statutory attorney fee.
I'm sorry, how much was that?
$214.30.
Okay.
For a total redemption amount, this is a non-payment case, of $39.14.30 through February. Ms. Connors has apparently indicated that she has some claim for abatement due to some condition that we heard about today. And I think that the court should hear her out and decide what, if any, effect that has on the stipulated numbers, and we're prepared to defend.
Okay. Were you aware of that claim before today? I'm asking counsel.
Yeah, there was a sort of a normal, there's a problem with the heat issue that was addressed.
Okay.
And based on and this will be in the proofs, based on last month's heating bill, it must be working just fine.
Okay. Well, I guess before we get into that, Ms. Connors, you agree that it's the $39.14.30 owing before or through February?
I agree, as long as the heat thing is waived off.
Okay, but just as a starting point, you agree that that's
before we argue with any of the rest of it, yes.
Okay.
And it may be, and I'm not attempting to negotiate here, but do you have some amount that you're claiming should reduce this?
I think for the time I was gone mid-December till the end of January, I think it maybe not be wiped away, but maybe reduced, because there was a heat issue, which the other tenant did witness. She brought in space heaters, but her heat was also not working in her room, so she had to take the space heater back. I had to leave temporarily.
So I guess
okay. All right. So let's do this. Mr. Ulrich and Ms. Connors, will you please raise your right hands? You both solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're going to give today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Okay. Then, since we have essentially an agreement as a starting point on the rent, and the amount owing, Mr. Figliamani, would you agree with me that we should probably start with Ms. Connors then and allow her to present her defense?
I do, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Connors, what would you like me to know?
That's really my only defense. I mean, since this issue, when I came back, I came back, the heat was on again.
So when did you come back?
End of January.
When did you leave?
Middle of December. I was not given any notice.
Do you have a date in the middle of December?
I could get you one. I don't have it on me. I don't have it even in my
Today's the date to do that. So
okay.
So you left at some point in the middle of December.
Okay, I did come back at the end of January.
And do you know when you came back at the end of January?
It was the last week. I know for sure. I could give you an exact date if I had my phone.
So sometime the week of the 26th?
Yes.
Okay.
In the meantime, he must have entered the apartment without my notice, because it did get fixed. When I came back, it was fixed. There's also the air conditioner unit, 15 feet up almost, that he installed. He never did anything with to winterize. So you can literally look through the air conditioner and see the outside. Me especially, I'm not climbing a 15-foot ladder when I have a back injury. I don't know. I ended up having to call somebody in. I bought some supplies to get that sealed up. I don't know if it falls under a landlord thing, but I would assume it does. Seeing as you can see directly outside without that.
Did you have to pay somebody to cover that up?
Not only for the items. I had a friend come in and do it. Yes. Not for the service.
What items did you front?
Just the air conditioning covers. So it would have been as simple as that. It was just not taken care of.
And how much was that?
You would have to ask my grandmother. She's the one who paid for it temporarily.
Unfortunately.
No, so I'm not
here.
worried about the cost
She's
of
not
that
here, correct?
specifically. I don't need reimbursement on
Okay.
that at all.
Follow me.
Yes,
She's not here, correct?
she is not here, no.
Now, you said you left in the middle of December. What was your reason for leaving in the middle of December?
I was in a winter coat with my kids. We could see our breath. I did, like I
So
said.
it was a no heat?
Right, that's exactly why.
Okay.
The other tenant did come up and witness this as well.
You can't tell me what somebody else saw.
Oh, I'm sorry. She came in with she brought space heaters to me and everything.
Okay.
I did know she was having a heat issue as well.
Okay. Anything else you want me to know?
I never received a key that I've asked for. Late at night, he's doing construction.
A key to what?
A key to the apartment at all, to lock it. Therefore, I've come home to my door wide open. As well as late night construction's been going on, drilling under my floorboards and stuff. I assume that that's not allowed, but I just feel like I've been being harassed through this process. The Wi-Fi password has been shut off. I've been threatened that CPS is coming after me. I've been threatened that TNT is coming after me.
Objection with all this hearsay, Your Honor.
I have text messages I could
Sustained.
provide to the courts later on.
Um,
I also have text from him to one of my friends that says that he will.
Objection, Your Honor.
you can't present anything to me
Okay,
that didn't come firsthand to you from him.
okay. I'm sorry, I was not aware.
Okay. Anything else?
Nope.
Mr. Filomeni?
Ms. Connors, did you say you left? You said mid-December, but I thought I heard a date, the 26th.
That's when he had guessed the week of the 26th was when I was out, or came back in January.
Oh, in January.
Because I was not home for Christmas.
And you acknowledged that the heat's been fixed,
Yes,
but you don't know when the heat.
I don't know when
was
she entered to fix it. No, I do not.
fixed. Heat is included in your rent.
Correct.
How much is your rent?
$1,500 a month.
Nothing else, Your Honor.
Ms. Connors, I have a question. How did you know to come back in the week of January?
I was coming back to get stuff and realized the heat was on, so I came back because the place I was staying was very temporary and it was costing me a lot because I was out of my kid's school district. I don't have a vehicle, so I was having to pay for gas money to get to and from, but it was a very temporary situation, which isn't a possibility anymore.
Had you been back to the house from the time that you left until you came back?
Not to stay, just to come
Let
and
me
grab
finish
a
my
couple
question.
things.
Let me finish my question. Had you been back to the house from the time that you left in the middle of December to the time that you came back the week of January 26th?
Only for like 10-minute intervals to grab a couple things.
But you had been back to the house?
Yes, I stopped by to grab a couple things a few times.
Roughly how many times had you been back?
3 maybe.
And what, if anything, did you discover about the heat when you came back those 3 times?
It was hot when I came back the last time. The first 2, it was not.
Do you recall roughly when it was when you came back the first 2 times?
It was after Christmas was the first time I came back. Before New Year's though. And then it would have been the first week or 2 after that.
Mr. Filomeni, any questions in response to the questions I asked?
No, thank you.
Mr. Filomeni?
Yes, Your Honor. A few questions of Mr. Ulrich. How long have you owned the premises?
I think since the beginning, I think January 3rd or 4th of last year.
Of 24?
Yeah.
Okay. And, Ms. Connors has made some statements about the condition of the heat. At some point, did you hear about the conditions she is claiming here today?
She mentioned, I think after the fact that she came back, it's been very cold in the apartment. And I said, wow, I'd be happy to look at it. Tell me what to do. She also wanted to have her ex or current partner, I'm not sure, evicted from the place. And I said, I'd be happy to provide a new lease? Can we talk tomorrow? Can we call tomorrow and talk about it? I didn't hear anything. And then I think she switched phones. She was very difficult to contact, but it wasn't there for a long time. When she came back, I think she said it's been pulled up there. I said I'd be happy to look at it. I've certainly never entered her apartment or anything
So
like that.
when you say she came back, are we talking about coming back in late January?
I think so, yeah.
And that is when you heard about the heat situation?
I believe so. I could look it up.
And and Ms. Connors has indicated that when she came back, it was hot or the heat was working. Have you known, other than hearing something from her in late January about a heat situation, have you known that the heat was out or not working?
No, I had not known that, or, I mean, obviously it was very cold, like pipes would have frozen or something like that. There was another tenant in the building. I never heard anything from that other tenant.
And you never heard from Ms. Connors until she came back?
I believe so.
I have nothing else, Your Honor.
Ms. Connors, any questions for Mr. Wallach?
No, but if I know for sure he's lying under oath, should I just say that?
You can ask him questions.
Okay. Well, it was before I came back, and it is
You need
would
to
be a phone record.
You can't direct to me,
Okay.
you need to ask him the questions.
I guess I don't have a question then.
I have a couple of questions. Mr. Aller, how many apartments are in this house?
Other two.
Two apartments?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it a central heating unit for the entire house, or does each unit have its own heating unit?
It's a central unit for the whole house. There may be a separate dial or something like that. I'm not sure if it's a two-zone thing or something.
Okay. And if Mr. Filliamini asked, I apologize. When was the heat fixed?
It was never not fixed. I've never had anyone look at it. I think it was, my best recollection, it was okay all the way through, but I certainly would have been happy if someone said the heat was an issue to look at. And when she did bring that up later on, I said I'd be happy to look at it. And then it was very difficult to contact her.
Okay. In your testimony, I want to make sure I understood. You said you didn't hear anything from the other tenant.
I did not know.
The tenant in the other apartment.
Correct.
Okay. Mr. Filliamini, anything based on those questions?
No, Your Honor.
Any further proofs, Mr. Filliamini?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. There may be something to refresh Mr. Holway's recollection, but it doesn't appear that it's clear in his records.
Your Honor, it says on January 1st, she says, I need it warmer and I need him legally evicted or he has every right to come back. That's what I said. Text message, I just tried to call. I'd be happy to drop a new lease and get Aaron off the current lease for change box or code. So he does not have access. I can look at the heat and give you some options for that. Is that helpful? She says yes, and then after that I can't contact her. All right, I've been able to contact her.
So he has corrected his testimony in terms of hearing something in January.
Do you have any follow-up based on that correction?
No, Your Honor.
I didn't hear anything about heat being offered or anything like that.
But on January 1st, you received a text message from her saying she needed it warm. She would like it warm.
And I said I'd be happy to look into that, and she wanted an eviction for the other person.
So when you said that you would be happy to look into that, what did you do?
I tried to call her back to set up an appointment for that, and try to text several calls, several texts, and then I didn't hear your response. And then I said, listen, I need your stuff out, if you're not going to pay rent, to go here. And then she said that she didn't want to, I didn't expect there to be no heat. I hadn't stayed there in over a month. I legally have to evict Aaron before he can enter or touch my things. He is the leaseholder.
I missed the statement. What was the statement about heat?
From me or from me?
The one you just read, and then it went into the eviction, I think.
Said I didn't expect there to be no heat.
Okay.
Which she said she needs a warmer.
Okay, and that was your statement that you didn't expect there to be no heat?
That was Ms. Connor's statement.
That was her statement. Okay. Do you have a date as to when that was?
I'm not sure. It's this is screenshots of that are I would probably say it would be in the first or second week in January.
Okay, so it was after the January 1st text message that you received. Mr. Phillyman, I know we're bouncing around. Anything?
Yeah, I would just like to clarify. Did you continue to try to contact her to address whatever issues she had?
I did until I got this text that said, I'm a single mom there with no way to pay. I'm trying, but harassing me won't change the laws of the court, and you need to follow the legal process to evict Aaron. And then her verbally saying later, I'm not leaving until you evict.
You tried to contact her at one phone, and at some point, did you have to contact her at another phone number?
Yes.
And when was that?
Around this time.
Okay. And the other phone number, you continued to try to contact her?
Yes.
Nothing else, John?
Ms. Connors, any questions for Mr. Ulrich based on what we just went through?
No, except I do have a statement.
I'll get to, you have a chance for rebuttal, so. Okay, no further proofs, Mr.
No,
Phillyman. Ms. Connors, what
I
else would
didn't
you
have
like?
access to the phone that he was trying to contact after. I did get a new cell phone. So he had both numbers, and then the old phone, it's not mine anymore. So if he was trying to contact me, I did not receive that because it was an old phone number. That was all. I just wanted to let you know that there was no communication to that old phone number because I don't have access to that phone anymore.
Okay. Anything else?
I did hear that there was something called a hardship case for a single mother with kids. I don't know anything about it. I can't afford, obviously, legal representation. Is that something to bring forward right now?
I guess I'm not aware of exactly what you're talking about.
I've just heard of a hardship case. It's something I could bring forward to the judge. Something just to kind of work with single parents so that their kids don't end up in a homeless shelter.
You were given the opportunity to seek legal advice and you had denied the opportunity to seek it.
But I was told that you can't get free legal. You have to pay for a lawyer, and I can't afford a lawyer, no.
Well, the pink sheet that you got from us gave you several options as to places you could call for legal assistance.
Okay, I did not see that.
Okay.
That is on me.
Okay. Anything else you'd like me to know? No? All right. Argument, Mr. Phillyman?
Your Honor, the burden of proof on this sort of abatement defense clearly is on Ms. Connors, and I just don't believe that she has sustained that burden. I think that if she clearly indicated a conditions issue, that a good faith attempt was made to contact her and address that if that was necessary. Mr. Ulrich has indicated that he had no idea that there was actually a real heat issue. Given the fact that the other tenant did not, make a similar claim, and Ms. Connors has indicated when she came back, clearly it was hot. So, at what point and for what duration this supposed heat issue even existed has not been sustained.
Thank you. Ms. Connors, any argument you'd like to make?
I do have separate thermostat things, and I have the floorboard heaters, which are not the same across the house, so I do believe it's a different heating system.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
Based on the testimony I've heard today in the agreement, we'll start with that agreement. Ms. Connors agrees that there is rent and fees through the end of February in the amount of $3,914.30. That's our starting point. The question before us today was whether or not there was enough of an issue within the unit in order to abate some of that rent. I heard the testimony today that Ms. Connors stated that she left in December, some point mid-December for no heat. She came back roughly 3 times before the end of June, which we determined was the week of the 26th. Her testimony was that the first 2 times she was there wasn't heat, and then the last time there was. We also heard the testimony of the landlord in this case, who stated that, at least to the best of his recollection, the first time that he had received any indication that there was an issue with the heat was back on January 1st. And that went on for a period of time of him trying to contact Ms. Connors to try to work that out. Mr. Ulrich also indicated that there was not any repair work done to the furnace, nor did he receive any complaint from another tenant in the household or house, but separate apartment, and that they all work off of the same heating system. As such, I find that there was not a defect in the heat, at least not a defect that would require an offset of the rent amount. As such, I find for the plaintiff in the amount of $3,914.30. That amount must be paid within 10 days from today's date, which would bring us to March 9th, if I did my math correctly. If that amount is not paid before March 9th, the plaintiffs can then file for an eviction process.
Your Honor, if I could approach with a judgment.
Yes. The court finds that the judgment presented by the plaintiff's attorney matches the findings of the court. I will go ahead and sign that. Ms. Connors, I must inform you, because you are unrepresented by counsel, you do have a 3 business day period in which to appeal the decision of the court. Question?
Yeah. So he gets out of jail. He gets my financial support in 7 days. Well, next Friday, so technically 8. And then I know it's due. Does this payment just go directly to Andy? Because he wouldn't have time to pay it, and then at the courthouse before the weekend was over. That's where I'm wondering, because the 10 days would fall.
Mr. Filamini, do you want payment to you, or do you want it to the landlord?
To Mr. Ulrich, please.
So it's fine as long as it's okay. Perfect.
Yes.
Yeah, because he'll be out by then.
Okay. Anything further?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. You can go to the front window and get a copy of the judgment.
Okay, and then should I expect another court date, like in the mail, or if there's something coming, or?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Often dispute with another party such as this, and you just can't seem to work it out. Don't resort to taking the law in your own hands.
You will hear the litigants